Hey guys, do you want to create a game where you control a plane and avoid flying birds? Well, follow this course and I will teach you. First, make sure to go to scratch.mit.edu. After you're here, go to the button that says Create. Now listen guys, the sprites I used for this game, you will not find it in scratch.mit. So we will have to search online for these sprites. First, make sure that you eliminate the Scratchy the Cat sprite. You can do this by clicking on the trash can above it, like this. Next, let's visit a website called gamerart2d.com. After you're here, go where it says Freebies. Now, these assets are free for everyone, like it says on the website, and you can use it for any game that you want. In our case, we are going to use the free plane sprite. Click on it. Very good. Okay guys, when you're on this website, click on free download, and this will download a file to your computer. Make sure that after you get the file, you extract the file to a folder. I can open the folder and I will find two more folders. In the PNG folder and in the plain folder, we will have our sprites. Okay guys, now let's go back to Scratch and let's set up our game. Now that you have all the necessary files for this game, just go to the button and click on Choose a Sprite. But don't click yet. Go and click on Upload Sprite. After you're here, make sure to select the sprites that you will be using. For our game, we will be using Fly 1 and Fly 2, so just select Fly 1. Great! Now make sure that you set up the size of your plane to probably 30. Maybe we can make it a little less. Let's make it 15. That's good enough. After you're here, go to the Costumes tab and let's add the other sprite so that we can animate our sprite later. So click on the button here and upload the other sprite, Fly 2. Now I have got Fly 1 and Fly 2, so later I can animate my sprites. Okay guys, now we've got our main sprite. Let's add the other sprites. Go to the Choose Sprite button and let's look for a bird. In this case, we'll be using the parrots. After our parrot is loaded, make sure you go to the Costumes tab and flip horizontally, like this. Lastly, we also need a background. So let's go to the background button and choose a nice background. In my case, I will be using the slopes background. Now, the only thing I have to do is to organize my sprites on the screen. So I will put the plane here and the parrot over here. But I also have to reduce the size of the parrot. So I will make it maybe 15 too. That's too little. Let's see, 20. That's good enough. Great guys. Now let's add some code. Go back to your fly sprite and add this code after me. Let's get a when green flag clicked. And now guys, let's create a function. To create a function, go to My Blocks over here and click on Make a Block. We will name our function Init. And here, it's going to have all the blocks that start our code. So under Init, I'm going to go back to Motion in the toolbox and get the Go To block. I'll make my plane go to X minus 158 and Y 8. Now I'm also going to create a new variable. To create a new variable, go to the variables in the toolbox and click on Make a Variable. I will call this variable Speed. Now, get the set block, put it underneath init, and set speed to 0. Great, Fantastic. Now, let's create another function. This function will control our sprite. For this, go back to My Blocks, click on Make a Block, and name it Controls. Great. Underneath the Controls block, we will be using some conditionals. So go to your toolbox and click on Control, and get two ifs. Now, as an input for the ifs, we're going to put the keywords that need to be pressed so that our plane can move. I will use up and down arrow. Now, go back to your toolbox, click on Sensing, and get the block that says key space, and put it as an input for both ifs. Now change the first if to key up and the second if to key down. Very good. Now let's do something very cool. Go back to your variables, get the set variable and put it inside the first if. Now change it by clicking on the drop down menu and click on speed. So we're going to set speed to 4. Now we're going to do the same for the next if, but here we're going to set the variable speed to -4. Just like this. Let's run our functions. To do this, go to My Blocks and bring the init block underneath when green flag clicked. Now go to Control and get a forever block. Inside the forever block, you will add the Controls block, and you will go to Motion and get a block called Change Y by. You're going to put this block underneath Controls. Now, you won't change Y by 10, but you will change Y by the speed that we assigned in the Controls menu. For this, go to Variables and get your speed variable and add it here. Make sure you uncheck this. Now, if we want our sprite to look a little bit animated, let's go to Looks and click on the next costume and add it inside the forever loop. Just like this. Now, if we try our project, our plane should look like it's animated. So let's do that. Wonderful, guys. Now it's time to code the parrots. Click on your parrot sprite and let's add some code to it. First, go to Event and bring the when green flag clicked. Now, go to Looks and get the hide block and put it underneath the when green flag clicked. Go to Controls and get the repeat 10 block. Inside the repeat 10 block, we are going to create a clone of ourselves. So go to Controls and get the block create a clone of myself. Now, we need to make the parrot create a clone of itself every random second. For this, go to Controls and get the wait 1 second block. Put it underneath create clone of myself. Now, we don't want it to wait 1 second specifically every time. We want it to be random. For this, you're going to go to Operators and bring the pick random block and put it as an input in wait. We want them to randomly appear between 0 to 0.9 seconds, just like this. Now let's create a function that allows my parrot to spawn randomly. For this, go to My Blocks and create a new block. We will call it Spawn Random. Underneath this block, we will add the motion block, go to X and Y. I want X to be 180. I want my parrot to appear randomly between -180 and 180. This is for my Y coordinates. Great, guys. Now, let's add some code that will actually make my parrot work when I start this game. Go to Controls and get the block when I start as a clone. When you start as a clone, you have to make sure that you're showing the sprite. Now bring a forever loop underneath this code. Inside forever loop, we are going to call the function spawn random. Also, we need a repeat until loop so that our bird moves to the left. Go to Controls and get the repeat until loop. As an input inside our repeat until loop, we will get an operator. So get the operator less than. Now go to motion and get the exposition block. Put it as an input in the first block of the operator. Now if exposition less than 240, we will change our movement by getting the change x block. Change x by -6. Great. Now, let's get an if block to check if I'm touching the plane. If I'm touching the plane, go to events and get a broadcast block. We will broadcast the message crash. Now, the last step we have to follow is to bring a when I receive block. You can go to events and click on when I receive a specific message. When I receive crash, stop all. You can find the stop all block underneath controls in the tool, just like this. Now, let's play our game and let's see if it's working. Ooh, very good guys, fantastic. Well done. This is all for today guys. Thank you so much and see you next time.